I am doing a little video about a common misconception in astrology because it's a misconception that I had. I've seen it a lot over the years, and just most recently I saw somebody had put it on their website in reference to another system that astrology, or the birth chart in astrology, the natal chart in astrology, is fixed, and that you can't really get the full breadth of the person from it because it's just a picture of in time. And that's a misconception because the chart, this is a natal chart right here, is so much more than just a fixed photo or glimpse or frame of time. And I guess you could see it as concrete or non-movable or two-dimensional if you're just looking at it like a piece of paper with some symbols on it. But it has a lot more meaning than that, and it's very multidimensional. So your natal chart is cast based on the location of your birth, on wherever you were on Earth at the moment you were born, and the relationship or angles of the planets to that location at that very time. So the planets are always in motion, the Earth is always in motion, and it's just a point in time when you were born. And you can do a chart then. You can do a conception chart. You can do a harmonic chart. There's different charts that you can do that will choose other points in time. Those points in time are just doorways into time space. So they're linear ways to get a cross section of the journey of the soul. And from that cross section, it's just like a DNA cross section or the cross section of a root, a dandelion root that you put under a microscope. It doesn't just tell you about that one piece or that one slice or that one sliver. It tells you everything about the person and their relationships. The rising sign, this is an example. The rising sign is here. It's the ascendant, and it's on the furthest left point on the wheel. That's another clue. This is a wheel. Okay? And when you're born, this rising sign is the constellation for this person. It was Aries that was on the horizon at the moment you were born. And so Aries, as the earth turned and the heavens moved, Aries came up and you came out and took your first breath. And at that first moment, this was where everything was. So as you can see, this chart was moving before this person was born, and it continues to move after the person is born, and it continues to move after you die. So most astrologers are also reincarnationists. So this chart is really just giving you an avenue into that moment, and then how this is read is what makes it multidimensional. So sure, right now you're just looking at it and yes, it's kind of a blueprint, right? But it's actually archetypal. It's the underlying energy of that moment. And classical astrologers only use the birth chart. They don't use transits. They also only use the inner planets. That's another topic. The inner planets are the planets that are visible to the eye. So before they had strong microscopes, they didn't know about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So all astrology was done with the planets up, including Saturn up to Saturn. So, and then the classic astrologers believed that everything you needed to know was already in the natal chart. Again, this is like a key or a slide that gives you, it's like the microcosm of the macrocosm. So it's a little piece of information out of the big circle of time, and you just go in, you take a slice, and then that gives you information about the rest of it. And there are astrologers who do conception charts. You can do conception charts. You can do harmonics is another technique to find out different points in time where the planets were in different points in time in the journey of the soul. And you can put those together with the natal chart, and then you get layers and layers of information. But even if this is all you have, this is multidimensional. This has to be interpreted, it has to be delineated, and then the person lives it. And the person living it is really the one that makes the chart alive. So you have all these energies in your chart. You have all these angles and these planets in a certain place. That doesn't mean that you're going to activate any of those. It doesn't mean that you're going to actualize any of those. It's like, it was Michael Meade. He describes the difference between fate and destiny. And fate is like, yeah, fate's the cards you've been handed. Your destiny is what you do with that. And it's the same with the chart. This gives you the information for you to create your life with, to create your destiny with. It tells you where the energies are most favorable, where there's more energy, where there's less energy, and then you can figure out from that how to move those around. So I, for one, I did. And then the more I understood astrology, the more I realized that this little bit of information is the world, or it can be. It can give you lots of moving, fluid, time-traveling information. That's the natal chart. Thanks.